Welcome to the June 7th town meeting. The time is currently 7:33. We ask that everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And yes, please. Thank you. And just so everybody knows, this evening, I'm here in attendance at the town office. We have Commissioner Davis on Zoom and Commissioner Burns on Zoom. I believe that Commissioner Sweeney will not be present this evening, and Commissioner O'Donnell is running late. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Okay. So I've never done this before. We have future meetings. We have a town council meeting on Monday, June 21st at 7:30 p.m. via channel 99 and Zoom. And again, a town council meeting Monday, July 12th, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. via channel 99 and Zoom. Are there any other meetings that we should be made aware of at this time? Actually, wait, I believe we have a planning commission meeting at the end of this month.
Is Zach, are you on the meeting?
Yes, I'm on the meeting.
Is there a
We-
planning commission meeting in June?
Yes, there's a planning commission meeting on June 28th.
Great, thanks, Zach. I thought we had one, but I wasn't 100% sure on that.
Okay, no worries.
So Commissioner Burns and Commissioner Davis, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yep, I got you.
Great, thanks. Hopefully everybody was able to review the minutes from both the May 3rd and May 17th meetings. We'll look at the May 3rd meeting now. Did you have any concerns, additions to those minutes?
None from me.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Good, I'm good to go as well. Do I have a motion to approve the May 3rd, 2021 town meeting minutes as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the May 3rd, 2021 town meeting minutes as presented.
I second.
The motion was made by Commissioner Burns and seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The May 3rd minutes have passed as presented. And then we have the May 17th minutes as well. Any concerns or additions to those minutes?
No objections from me.
Commissioner Davis, you good to go?
Yes, I'm sorry. I thought you was off.
I think we're okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry.
All right, good. Do I have a motion then to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the May 17th meeting minutes.
I second.
The motion's been made by Commissioner Burns, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye as well. The minutes for May 17th have passed.
We're putting a lot of pressure on this too tonight, you know that?
And next is the police report, of which there will be none this evening. I believe that the deputy will be here at our next meeting in July.
Correct.
So now we turn to the town manager's report.
Good evening. This is the town manager's report for April of 2021. I will just highlight some key areas related to streets. Staff conducted monthly storm drain inlet cleaning. We had a contractor blacktop water leak patches at 9377 Waynesboro Pike, and also on Creekside Drive. Staff installed 3 wayside exhibit signs around town. In parks, we had a contractor install a new camera system in Memorial Park. Staff painted the floors in the men's and women's restrooms at the pool bathhouse. As I'm sure everybody's noticed, the contractor completed the power washing of the tennis and basketball courts, and they have started with the resurfacing, which will last through this week. They hope to finish up Monday or Tuesday of next week. The contractor installed the sunshades at the all-inclusive playground in Community Park. Staff dug out the north side of the dog park and installed a swale for the water to drain, since we were having a lot of complaints. Contractor completed the renovation of the community park bandstand. Related to water, Rainbow Lake is currently at the spillway level of 16.6 feet. The roughing filters are being backwashed 2 times a day. Below there, you'll see the well levels. Water production, we produce an average of 217,887 gallons per day and consumed an average of 203,558 gallons per day. The difference is the backwash water at 10.8%. We purchased 429,870 gallons of water from Mount St. Mary's in the month of April. Related to wastewater, we treated an average of 549,000 gallons per day and consumed 203,558 gallons per day. 62.9% of the wastewater treated was wild water in April. We had no spills of untreated sewage. However, we did exceed the plant's design capacity 1 time in the month of April, on April 11th. In April, we received 2.2 inches of precipitation. The average is 3.91 inches. We currently have a surplus over the last 6 months in the amount of 1.52 inches. Trash pickup will remain Mondays in the month of June. Below that are some of the meetings that I attended in April. And just a couple of noteworthy items. Staff repaired and installed a fire hydrant in front of Dunkin' Donuts that was damaged in a collision. Our contractor is working with staff on the location for the water clarifier, and we have meetings every Monday morning to discuss the project. Staff completed a project that was budgeted last year. The valve house roof at Rainbow Lake has been replaced and solar panels were installed. The upgrade for LG Sonic was completed and it was installed at the end of last week. And that is the manager's report for April.
Great, thank you. Anyone have any questions? Not hearing anything. I don't have a question per se, and this will probably be mentioned next month, but I'm really happy with North Seaton Avenue. I know that was State Highways doing, but it looks a lot better where all the that bank where everything was growing out.
I think Miss Nail and Mr. Goulden kept on them to get it done.
Thank you very much. It looks great. All right, well then, no questions on the report. Then we turn now to the town planner's report.
Good evening, everybody. This is the planner's report for April 2021. Under grants, I continued working on the community legacy grant management for fiscal years 20 and 21, the facade and restoration grants. Chesapeake Bay Trust grant management. We've had the North Seaton Avenue Green Street conceptual plan. I completed that and submitted the grant final report. Rain barrel program. If you're looking for a discounted rain barrel, quality rain barrel, please contact Amy or myself at the town office. Silo Hill stormwater management basin retrofit design and permitting. We're working with contractor on that still. Community development block grant management. I completed the statutory and other requirements checklists, the request release for funds and certification. I prepared RFP documents. I had an advertisement prepared with associated documents, environmental report and associated documents. I prepared 95 business and residential letters of those properties adjacent to curb replacements. And I also prepared a grant release, press release under MS4, Silo Hill Stormwater Basin Retrofit and Tree Planting Project Management. I started preparing the stormwater utility feasibility study RFP under permits and zoning. I processed 17 zoning permit applications. I just wanted to outline a few. 3 new single-family dwellings, and 2 are in Brookfield and 1 in Southgate. And I also wanted to make the 3 businesses. We had 3 new businesses, so I wanted to kind of put them in here. A plug: Wookie Walkers, Mason Dixon Mixon, and also Toscani's Pizzeria. The first 2, Wookie Walkers and Mason Dixon Mixon, are in the Silo Hill Shopping Center, and Toscani's Pizzeria is going to be where Stavros used to be located. Process 29 backflow preventer permits, 7 street cut permits, 8 street closure permits. I mailed 3 high hazard backflow renewal reminder letters, responded to various incident reports under Planning Commission. We're continuing to work with Rudders, the Irishtown Road Improvement Plat, Federal Stone, and Emmitsburg East Industrial Park 2 project management. I reviewed and created a staff memo for the corrected Irishtown Road Improvement Plat, which eventually the Planning Commission approved. Attended a meeting on the 14th with Federal Stone regarding development and permitting procedures. They're pushing forward. I attended a conference call with the State Planning Department on the proposed comprehensive plan amendment, which the board will review in their July meeting. I attended a virtual Planning Commission meeting on the 26th and processed meeting pre and post meeting materials. Under miscellaneous, forestry stand 6 and 10 project management. For project stand 10, I created the logging RFP. I created new addresses for 7 lots on Mountaineers Way in Southgate. I assisted the contractor with data for the impact and park and rec fee in lieu study. And I also attended a green team meeting on the 21st. And that's my report.
Great, thank you very much. Anyone have any questions regarding the town planner's report?
I have a question for Mr. Golden, if possible,
Sure.
Commissioner
Go
Ritz.
ahead.
I guess couple questions for you, Mr. Golden. You mentioned Rudders. I've had a couple conversations with people. They're asking, is there a tentative start time for breaking ground for that project?
So I keep asking the project manager that question, and he never gives me a definitive answer. I believe they're going to be starting probably in July or August. We're just waiting on bonding and their water and sewer impact fees. So it's my understanding that they're working with their bonding company and just tying up some loose ends, but I would say the next 2 months.
Awesome. And then the follow-up question to that is, I know there was some discussion with you, the mayor, and Kathy in regards to the sidewalks getting completed in the Southgate neighborhood. Has there been any progress with that?
Yes, we actually spoke with the property owner of those lots. It's my understanding that there's going to be 3 lots that have just about sold, and for whatever remaining lots that are not sold within the next few months, the property owner has agreed to install the sidewalks.
All right, that's great news. Thank you very much. You're not aware of which lots sold? I know one of them was transferred. I know the house that the owner wanted to build was going to be too big for the lot, so they purchased an additional lot. Do you know are you aware of the other 2 off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, no, but I can send you an email.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Commissioner Davis, are you good?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Great, thank you. I had no questions. Thank you very much, Mr. Golden. And now we turn to commissioner comments. We'll start with Commissioner Davis.
Thanks. It's nice to see the office back open for at least the commissioners. Sorry I couldn't make it there tonight. I was just a little late getting home. But for anybody that didn't notice, the town park was packed this weekend. Parks, I should say, both parks. A very large softball tournament. I heard a lot of good comments from local businesses about the extra people they saw in town, and we're really pleased with that. And also, it will happen again next weekend. We have the same tournament is back, so all the fields will be used. So please get down to the parks and enjoy some good baseball. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Burns?
Yes, I just want to echo what Commissioner Davis said. I was around all weekend, and seeing the parks full, the baseball fields full was great for the town. I know it brought a lot of business in for the restaurants, gas stations, and everybody. So that was great to see. Commend Commissioner Davis on everything he did in order to help bring baseball back in the town, to bring baseball back and softball back into the town. It was great to see all the kids out there, the parents. So it was great to see. Also want to commend, I'm not sure if anybody's aware, the role Emmitsburg's firehouse played in the what sounded like multi-alarm blaze up in Gettysburg today, but I spent most of my morning listening to Commissioner Davis and the rest of Emmitsburg help combat that fire. So I commend them and their hard work for what sounded like 6 hours in the sweltering heat and fire. So, thank you for all that they do. And finally, it was great to see everyone back at the pool this weekend. The pool was packed. Everybody was very respectful. It was good to see everybody in the pool enjoying the new bathhouse as well as the pool that has been updated.
Great,
Summer
thank
now
you.
they can get back out there.
Sorry about that. I cut you off there.
No, you're good. I was done.
Okay, great, thanks. To echo the other two gentlemen, the tournaments here in town, very happy to see that as well. So thank you to all who are involved. I'm happy to see that a new pizza establishment will be there on the square. I realize that Stavros' recipe is probably a guarded secret. Hopefully Tuscany's Pizzeria can at least get the crust just right, because I really missed that. And I know we all received an email from Mr. Glenn Blanchard, who was very happy with the fence around the community garden. He did mention if it's possible to install a rain barrel. And I know Mr. Golden referenced a rain barrel grant this evening. So I thought maybe that would go hand in hand there. Maybe be helpful if we're able to get a rain barrel at that location somehow to alleviate Mr. Blanchard and whoever is taking care of the garden from hauling water themselves to water the garden.
I think that's in the works to get a rain barrel over there.
Awesome. It's good news.
Yes.
Okay, good. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Hey, Commissioner Ritz, let me follow up with that real quick.
Sure.
Ms. Willits, if it's not in the works, please let me know, and my family will be happy to donate a water barrel, rain barrel for that garden. It's a lovely addition to the community right now.
I will.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Burns. And now we turn to the mayor for his comments.
He still has to fall asleep. Since the last meeting we had at the middle of, we opened the bids for the ADA sidewalks grant and what bid.
Mr. Mayor, your mic's off. Can you turn your mic on?
Darn it, excuse me, I apologize. Since the last meeting in mid May, I was with the staff. The planner Gold, we opened up the grant bid for the ADA sidewalk. We had one bid, and we may have to go back again and see if we can put it out again to get two bids, but we're working on that. We with the town manager, Ms. Willis, and the planner, we looked at the impact fee study with consultants. I attended the graduation at Catoctin High School, class of 2021. Beautiful graduation held outside and on the field. What a wonderful backdrop for a graduation. Sensational. This Saturday evening, Boy Scouts of America, Troop 727, Eagle Scouts, they had their final awards. They're going to be absorbed into the Fairfield, and it's really sad that had to happen. We gave a small donation for everything they've done for the community and projects they did for their Eagle Scouts, including the picnic table down by our youth children's park down there. Sunday, Mother Seat graduation, 8th grade graduation at the shrine. Beautiful ceremony. And I want to thank Vigilant Hose for the coverage they give to much of southern Pennsylvania and what they do for our community. It's spectacular what they do. The pool was open and it was packed. That's good. It's just hard to believe we lost a year, but it's good to have that back. And the new businesses, we may have another one on the way, and we'll talk about it later. And finally having Rudders get to their settlement, but I think it's a good sign that they went to settlement. They've passed some money across the table, bought the lot, that everything pretty much is done except maybe some construction stuff and other things like that. But congratulations to our staff for working with them for over 2 years at the least. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Did Commissioner O'Donnell join the meeting? Somebody, it sounded like somebody joined in. I'm not on Zoom, so I can't tell. No? Okay. So now it's time for public comments, and from what I understand, no one has signed up for public comments. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Now we turn to administrative business. And our first item of administrative business this evening is a proclamation honoring Richard Boyd, manager of Jubilee Foods, for his service to the community. I'm going to read this first and then we'll. So, a proclamation honoring Richard David Boyd for his service to the community over the past 35 years. Whereas Jubilee Foods, formerly Super Thrift, has been serving the town of Emmitsburg since opening its doors in 1976. And whereas Richard David Boyd has been the Jubilee Foods store manager for the majority of that time, specifically from 1982 to 1996, and again from 2000 to 2021. And whereas Mr. Boyd has provided steady employment opportunities for teenagers to senior citizens for the town of Emmitsburg and surrounding communities for a total of 35 years. And whereas Mr. Boyd worked with the Greater Emmitsburg Historical Society to select pictures of Emmitsburg's past and incorporated them into store decorations, not only to add character, but to further solidify Jubilee's rightful place in the community. And whereas Mr. Boyd has enthusiastically sponsored youth sports teams and supported local churches, civic organizations, and various fundraisers by donating grocery, dairy, meat, and bakery items. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and council of the town of Emmitsburg, Maryland, do hereby recognize the positive impact of Richard David Boyd to the Emmitsburg community, and do hereby extend our utmost gratitude and heartfelt appreciation for the friendly customer service he has provided to our town for 35 years, and do hereby offer our sincerest congratulations to Mr. Boyd upon his well-deserved retirement. Adopted this 7th day of June, 2021, signed Donald N. Briggs, Mayor of the town of Emmitsburg, and Timothy J. O'Donnell, President of the Emmitsburg Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Run up here and give it to them.
And it's all yours. Yes. Yep.
Where do you like this one? Over here, we all had our shots. Let's put it in the middle.
Yeah.
This is what I think.
I'll take your hand. Do you think that's for good?
I'm gonna get out of the photo. Give me a moment.
Yeah, we show it.
That's okay.
You guys want to walk up? You can walk up closer. if you like.
No, I'm zooming and just wanted to still us like you want. That's good, we're good.
sir.
Very
Thank you,
much.
sir, very much.
Everything.
Very much.
Good, man. We were always at the store in 1982. I was 6 years old. It's like we were an institution there.
Yeah.
You hired me twice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be around. I found home. This is a wonderful town and I just love it. I'll tell you, when I got here in 82, I was blessed. The customers, the employees I have are fantastic. I just. really blessed.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. See you around, all right? Thanks again.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, do you want me to move down? I kept it moving, man. It was good.
Tim, it's like a hockey match. You're in the penalty box.
Miss Willets. Thank you. Can I just say 8? Can I just say 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good, thank you.
The time is now 8 o'clock and Commissioner O'Donnell is present at the meeting. I will now hand the meeting over to him. Thank you very much.
Mr. Ritz, thank you. Zoom is a fickle thing evidently in the O'Donnell household, so I'm happy to be here. Good evening, thank you. All right, so Mr. Ritz, to confirm, administrative business, we've completed item A. We now turn to item B. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Very good. Okay. All right. So with that in mind, we seek approval of a free pool day on Community Heritage Day 2021 for consideration. Is there a motion from the board?
I'll make that a motion.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second for the motion?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Davis, seconded by Commissioner Ritz. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, the motion carries. Haven't done this in a very long time, by the way. The motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sweeney absent. Is that correct?
That's
Yes, very
correct.
good. Good. Okay. All right. Moving forward, item C, approval of face masks to not be worn inside the bathhouse at the community pool for the 2021 pool season for consideration. Is there a motion for this item?
I'll make a motion for it.
Thank you. Is there a second for that motion?
I'll second.
Thank you, sir. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye.
Is there any discussion on this?
With administrative business, typically no. Well, no, I'm considering consent agenda. No. So there is room for discussion. I apologize. So yes. Any further discussion? So let's recall the vote. We'll back up process wise. My apologies. And Mr. Burns, I turn it over to you, sir, for discussion.
Yes, just a quick point. I talked to Ms. Willits about it. I think I spoke to Commissioner Davis as well as Commissioner O'Donnell about it. I think everything went very smoothly this weekend, obviously, with the pool company. I know they would like to continue to wear their mask while they're engaged with anybody in the pool. You know, we are going to be very happy to to pass this ordinance or pass this agenda item where, you know, our citizens don't have to wear it excuse me, anymore. But, you know, if I just hope that our citizens have the respect that if the pool employees do start objecting to this, that we can, you know, accommodate and work with them, that when we enter the pool and engage with them, if they're uncomfortable, if we can put a mask on and then, you know, quickly take it off as we walk to the bathhouse. We're not trying to infringe on anybody. We're not trying to create any problems, just out of respect for some of the younger teens, as well as those that work there, who will still be required to wear a mask.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. I'll now call it to vote. All in favor of item C, approving the approval of face masks to not be worn inside the bathhouse at the community pool for 2021 pool season, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any against? Very good. The motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sweeney absent. Okay, we turn to item D, discussion related to opening the town office for town meetings. I turn to staff for that. No, not a staff item. Okay. Commissioner Davis, was this your item? I'm sorry, I apologize.
I believe this
Oh,
was
yeah, there's been
mine.
a lot of requests from the town, and it seems like since everything else is opened up, from the town people, I should say, since everything else is opened up. But I'm good with whatever the town manager and the mayor decide, so I'll let it up to them.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ritz, we turn to you, sir.
No, I think I brought this one up,
Okay,
but
sorry.
that's no worries. We had no further comments from staff.
I'll defer to the mayor. I just, we confirmed that per the county executive for county buildings, with the exception of libraries, they are still closed to the public. In that she's also still requiring masks be worn in all county facilities. But I will defer to the mayor and the board and what your wishes are. I just want to make sure the staff remains protected. We've done a very good job throughout the whole pandemic in protecting our staff. And that's my only concern.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you very much. I think we really want objective reality. We want to make sure we're not opening ourselves up for liability. Everything's happening so fast in the last 15 to 20 days on what you can do, when you can, and it's never exacted in the interpretation of what you can do. We're going to get back to it. I'd like to just keep to where it's, maybe another week. Let's just take it week by week. Again, it's just, I don't want the liability for the town. And if it's, the county says the building's closed, we're a tenant, we have a lease with them, we have to honor the lease and the arrangements we have there to adhere to their standards. The library does have its own entrance, and at times other doors are open, but I just, let's just go week by week, and I think we'll have this thing resolved by the end of this month. Again, everything's happening so fast, but I really like to have it stay the way it is. We have people here every day in the office. There are 3 people here Friday, and we're manning it, and calls and everything it comes our way, and it is an inconvenience, but let's just finish this thing off in an appropriate way. And we are a tenant in a county building, and we have to adhere to their standards. That's my position. Thank you, sir.
Great, thank you, sir. I guess my hope is I will comport with what the mayor is asking for at this time, but I do hope that the county is going to come forward with some metric that we can use to open the building just for that face-to-face piece. We absolutely want to protect staff. And I know staff is, doing their utmost trying to provide the best, for lack of a better term, customer service. But at the same time, very few things beat face-to-face, like a Zoom link that won't work at home, So my hope is the county comes forward with a metric so we can look at some timeline. And hopefully it will come sooner rather than later. So just where I am. So any other comments or discussion items related to this from the board or from the mayor or staff?
No, I guess we have a meeting on the 21st, our next
Yes.
town meeting.
Yes.
So then at that point,
Okay.
we'll look at it to see about August then.
Okay,
Okay.
Sounds good.
that's a really good idea. Okay, so if we can, moving forward, if we can add that to the agenda for the June 21st meeting on the administrative business agenda again. So if we can bring that back. Okay, at this time, we turn to our consent agenda. There are 6 appointments for consideration. I'm gonna try to pull forward to that.
Commissioner Sweeney's not here if somebody wanted to do his citizens advisory appointments.
Okay. So for Citizens Advisory Committee for 2-year terms, Mr. Sweeney is seeking the reappointment of Wendy Walsh, Wayne Slaughter, Tricia Shepherd, Will Shepherd, and Conrad Weaver. Now, to clarify, Ms. Walsh, the term would be February 2nd, 2022. Mr. Slaughter, the term would be October 15th, 2022, the termination point. For Ms. Shepherd, Mr. Shepherd, and Mr. Weaver, the term would begin July 15th, 2021, and end July 15th, 2023. All in favor of these appointments, please say aye.
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 Okay. The motion carries, I'm sorry, any nays, just to be clear? Very good. The motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sweeney absent. Okay, for the Planning Commission, there's a 5-year term. The appointment of Kevin Hagan as an alternate to the Planning Commission. The term would begin this evening, June 7th, 2021, and conclude June 7th, 2026. All in favor of this appointment as presented, please say aye.
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 Aye. Very good, thank you. No nays. The motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sweeney absent. All right, we move forward now to the treasurer's report. Commissioner Burns, please.
Yes, good evening. Glad you got inside, Commissioner O'Donnell, before the storm hit, because it is pretty nasty out right now. But the town of Emmitsburg treasury report for June 7th, 2021. We have a $5,536,688 cash balance as of May 1st. We had deposits in the amount of $515,074. We had withdrawals in the amount of $310,863, which leaves us with an operating balance forward of $5,740,899. The top 10 check amounts are listed below. I'll answer any questions you have or direct them towards council staff.
Good. Are there any questions for staff related to the top 10 check amounts or any of this?
Not a question, but a comment. The top check was for the renovation of the bandstand. I just want to say that bandstand looks really great.
Yeah, Ms. Shaw did a very good job working with the contractor and picking out the colors and the stone. It looks fantastic.
I like it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Stone permanence, yeah. All right, very good. Okay. We move forward from the treasurer's report to the Planning Commission report.
Yes, Mr. President, the Planning Commission met on May 24th. The following items were approved. Ordinance 2105 was Town Code Title 16 subdivisions. Did a lot. It added expiration dates on approved preliminary subdivision plats, unrecorded final plats, and
Oh, yeah.
improvement plats.
Sure.
It moved all sidewalk construction requirements to the proper chapter regarding sidewalk construction and repair. It allows the Planning Commission to waive sidewalk requirements in the industrial park subdivisions, requiring new cul-de-sacs to include a 20-foot by 10-foot easement to stockpile snow for winter road maintenance, moving the park fee in lieu amount from ordinance to resolution, and requiring precast concrete storm drainage structures, I apologize, I can't read my own handwriting, to be built per SHA standards. This will be presented at our town meeting on June 21st for public comment and board vote. Additionally, ordinance 2106 amended Title 17 zoning, specifically updating the definitions of hotel and motel and updating the sections on site plan requirements. That will be presented at the June 21st meeting as well. And the preliminary subdivision plat, forest delineation plan, and preliminary forest conservation plan of the Emmitsburg East Industrial Park 2 were tabled at that meeting. The applicant has several conditions to be met on the plat and is seeking a fee in lieu regarding the forest delineation and conservation plans. And Mr. Golden, if I'm incorrect in stating that, please jump in.
No, you said it perfect. The developer's just looking right now. He requested the plans to be tabled at the meeting. They're researching to see if it would make more sense to pay the fee in lieu instead of the fee in lieu for the forest conservation instead of the planting trees on the property.
Thank you.
Mr. Ritz, did the board come away with any preference regarding trees or no trees on the site?
Yes, there was some discussion that if that route were taken, there are other alternatives where we would still be meeting MS4 requirements.
Okay. But
It looked positive.
which, sorry, just to clarify.
Plans regarding if the fee in lieu of were accepted, that there are plans afoot that would help out with our meeting our MS4
Gotcha.
requirements.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that there'd be a scarcity of trees, so to speak.
Was there a reason they didn't want trees? Was it a maintenance issue, or did they have any?
They have
articulation?
that option.
No, I understand that. but-
They didn't know. So they were just looking at all their options.
Gotcha.
at that
Okay.
point.
Interesting. I mean, I'd always rather see trees than not, but I'm sure there's some mitigating issue.
I
Okay.
don't know, Mr. Golden, is there anything else I should add? I feel like maybe I'm confusing the issue, but I know that the planning commission came away unanimously that tabling that to be either brought back or to seek the fee in lieu was a positive.
Yeah, Chairman Long wanted to see more trees being planted on the property itself because of Flat Run Stream being bordering the property. The town, I'm working with the mayor right now and Kathy. The fee in lieu of money, we're looking to plant street trees throughout various developments throughout Emmitsburg. The reason why the property owner is looking at the fee in lieu is because the maintenance agreements, the long-term maintenance and the short-term maintenance, and you have to bond it. Sometimes it's just easier on the developers to pay the fee in lieu of, and then the town do the work on behalf of the applicant. And talking with the mayor and Kathy, we're trying to save some money in order to do the street trees. So we support that measure.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Golden.
Thank you.
Any other items from the report?
No, that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Great. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, we now turn to our agenda items. And we have item 1, review and approval of the fiscal year 2022 town budget for consideration. We have dropped the ADA sidewalk item at this time. Ms. Willetts, will we see that in the next meeting? Do you anticipate, or?
I think it's slated for July or August. We only received one bid
Okay.
and we're being required to re-advertise. When do we anticipate that, Zach? In August?
That'd be July 12th.
July 12th. Okay.
Great, okay, thank you. Next item will be the Irishtown Road Transfer Memorandum of Understanding.
The budget.
And wait, I'm just, no, but I'm
Oh,
just going
okay.
sort of overview, sorry. Approval of the Brookfield Irishtown Road Project right of way. Approval of bid to construct 2 small pavilions. Approval of resolution 2021-03R related to the mayor's authorization and the town manager to file an application for federal assistance with the USDA Rural Development for consideration. And we will talk about that also. That's the page 62 item, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so when we get to item 6 on our agenda, there will be a nota bene item. So we now turn to number 1, review and approval of the fiscal year 2022 town budget for consideration. Mr. Tabler, we had a modification. Ms. Willetts, it will be you. Okay,
I
very good. So we had a modification related to the deputy
I have 2
fee,
items.
and there was, okay,
Okay.
I'll turn it over to you. Sorry.
The first item that I will address is the constant yield tax rate. So our constant yield tax rate has been 36 cents per $100 for many years. Each year, the state will send us our constant yield tax rate, and we would be set at 36 cents. However, on June 2nd, we received confirmation from the state that our constant yield tax rate would need to be adjusted from 36 cents per $100 to 0.3464 cents for fiscal year 22, that the town was no longer exempt from the threshold. So we need to, this is due to the increase in overall assessments that's outpacing the exemption amount. So the state sets thresholds for you to set your constant yield tax rate. And as long as you're within the threshold, you can maintain your current tax rate. If you go outside of that threshold, then you have to adjust it. If you don't adjust it, you have to advertise and hold a public hearing. So basically they do this for protection of the residents paying real estate taxes. In the years past, we've been exempt. We were allowed to maintain the 36 cents. Therefore, the constant yield tax rate for fiscal year 22 needs to be 0.3464 cents. This will not have any impact on the budget that's been presented. As we always budget conservative, we currently projected 680,000 in revenue from property tax. The state projects that it'll be higher than that, closer to 700,000. So our numbers don't have to change in our budget because we're still under what the state of Maryland projects. The mayor is in support of reducing the tax rate from 36 cents to the 0.3464. It does not have to be approved by ordinance, but it's approved as part of your budget. So I wanted to make everyone aware that the current tax rate needs to be reduced. If it's not, then we have to set a special meeting, pass the tax rate by ordinance, and advertise it.
So we're reducing our property tax rate.
Correct.
Will this put us on the front page of the Wall Street Journal?
Probably.
A rare event.
Yes.
Okay. As it's not changed in my recollection. I mean, truthfully. So very
Right.
interesting.
And
Okay.
it may go back next year. It all depends on the assessed value each year. The state sends what we need to do.
So for absolute clarity's sake, we are dropping our constant yield rate in order to be compliant with the state's formula. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Terrific. Okay. Very good. Second item.
So with that being said, again, it does not have any impact on the revenues because we had already budgeted lower. We are always conservative because you never know what you're going to get.
Okay.
So we're good with all our revenues and those numbers. The only other adjustment would have been then from on page 12 of the budget for the public safety. Due to the sheriff's office contract increasing from our projected budget of 275,000 to $298,022. So basically that then is reduces our budget transfer to Fund 2 by $23,022. On page 15 for Parks Department 60, repairs and maintenance. This line item has decreased from 21,750 to 20,750, adding an additional 1,000 to the budget transfer. The reason for this is the ash tree treatments are every other year. So we're not due for ash tree treatments this year. So the interfund transfer is 128,430, down from the original amount of 150,452. And that's due to the sheriff's office increase and then the reduction on page 15. The interfund transfers are listed on page 3. If you look at pages 18 and 19, we added an interfund transfer in the amount of $22,022 under Streets Department 30, West Lincoln Avenue, activity 377 is being reduced by the same amount. So that we can still budget the items that we requested in Fund 2 without having to make any additional transfers. The West Lincoln Avenue line item is no longer needed, so that money can be expended in different departments in Fund 2. That money will actually just be moved to Department 30 vehicles, so it stays within the same department. And that's all, the only changes that we've had on the budget after it was presented at the first meeting, I believe May 17th. I can't remember the date.
That's
Um,
correct, yeah.
And I didn't have any other questions or comments from anybody.
Okay, so I turn now to the commissioners. Ms. Willetts, I'm assuming that your presentation is complete.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll turn now to the commissioners. Do any of our commissioners at this time have questions? This is not, we're not calling a vote yet, so it's not discussion. But similarly, are there any questions for staff related to these modifications as presented? Okay, so hearing none. For absolute clarity's sake, the deputies provide typically 2 shifts of coverage, sometimes overlapping, sometimes not. We have the mayor can advise the sheriff's office what is best for our community, but it's the sheriff's office typically who sets the hours for the deputies. Is that still correct in this format?
That's correct. I had a meeting, if you saw in my packet, I had a long meeting with Sergeant Linehan of the Sheriff's Office
Mhm.
to go over some of the concerns for the upcoming year. And they're more than willing to adjust their schedule to when they need to be in town. If
Right.
there's events, if there's weekends that we're concerned about, issues we're concerned about. They felt that they can address it through adjusting their own schedule. They're extremely flexible with that. But yes, they typically work opposite shifts. There may be some rotating shifts depending on the events that are happening in town.
Okay, thank you. I think we all hear the rain picking up outside, right? Okay, so I think, where I'm coming from, I'm very satisfied with what I'm seeing. I don't think anyone else has questions, Mr. Ritz, do you?
No, I had a lot of questions last time that were addressed ahead of time. I sent
Great.
those to town staff and they were very quickly got back to me and I appreciated that. And I'm also very happy to see that the tax rate's going down. I mean, that's fantastic.
Unexpected.
So I'm satisfied. So thank you to everybody who all the time and effort put into the budget. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Burns, Commissioner Davis, any thoughts or concerns or questions related to this item?
No, I'm very satisfied with the work everybody's done, and I'm excited to see the property tax go down a little bit as well. I'm not sure how much that'll ultimately affect. I mean, but sounds like to me, I'll save $13 this year, so I'm in a good place.
Very good, terrific. Okay, all right, Commissioner Davis, anything to add,
No,
sir?
I'm good. I'm good, thanks.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, so at this time, is there a motion to accept the budget for fiscal year 2022 as presented with modifications?
I'll
I'll
make a
make a-
motion to accept the budget for 2022 with the modifications presented.
Thank you.
Second,
Great. Motion's been made by Commissioner Burns. It's been seconded by Commissioner Ritz. Is there any further discussion? I'll get on the coattails. Thank you to staff. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Very good. The motion carries 4-0.
you.
Congratulations and thank you to staff again for your efforts. for
Thank
the
you.
Historic budget.
Mr. Tabler was waiting for some questions up there.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah. He's in a 4-point.
See you later.
Okay, so here we go. We move forward now to our next agenda item related to the approval of the Irishtown Road Transfer Memorandum of Understanding with Frederick County and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement on behalf of the town for consideration. Okay, so again, we turn to staff related to this MOU.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. As you can see, we're going to be doing a just brief presentation on this. So this is the memorandum of understanding with regarding Irishtown Road Transfer. This is an agreement between the town of Emmitsburg and also Frederick County. Slide 2, please. The town sent a letter to Frederick County in June of 1987 requesting to take over ownership of Irishtown Road, as you can see on the screen, from North Seaton Avenue to the edge of the northern town boundary on Irishtown Road. This area is now shown in the PowerPoint or as Exhibit B in the Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU. The town and county entered into a road transfer agreement in October 1989. The agreement, which is attached as Exhibit A in the MOU and in the agenda packet, stated that the county would continue road maintenance until such time when the road was improved to town standards. Irishtown Road is now pending improvements via the Brookfield lots 1 through 19 improvement plan, and also possibly with the Emmett Ridge 2 plan. The county and town attorneys have decided that the previous 1989 agreement was inadequate, and they have prepared the new Irishtown Road MOU, which is now in front of you. Once approved by the board and signed by all parties, the roadway will officially be turned over to the town, which is required in order for the two developers, which is Richard DeMitt for Irishtown Road, lots 1 through 19, and also for Emmett Ridge 2 to improve the roadway to town standards. We are asking for approval of this document tonight, so both projects can proceed. Are there any questions on this particular document? If there are no questions, Mr. President, could we please take a vote?
Sure. Okay, so reviewing the item, no questions from the board. Okay, so as per request of Mr. Golden.
Mr. President, you're muted.
Oh, thank you. All right. Well, I'm back in the classroom.
It's fair though.
Yeah, it's my kids point, O'Donnell, you're off. Okay, so Mr. O'Donnell, you're on again. Here we go. Are there any questions from the board related to Mr. Golden's presentation about the MOU?
I have no question. I just wanted to say thank you. Mr. Golden did provide us some information prior to the meeting, and it was helpful understanding, the history and everything that went into that, and what town staff was going to present and ask for. So I do appreciate that. It's a lot easier to digest that ahead of time instead of at the meeting.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Just one question, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Golden, is there a timeline for this once the agreement is signed between the county and the town?
For the improvements?
Yes.
Sure. So tonight, if all the other agreements that we're going to be talking about here shortly get approved, Richard DeMitt has to submit the bonds, which he's working on right now. And after that, he's ready to start. He's ready to start at the end of June or early July. Regarding Emmett Ridge 2, we still haven't received any official plans yet, so I'm unable to give you a timeline for that.
No, I appreciate that. Just curious for people that travel up and down that road, when they would be affected by that, just if there was a timeline for that. It sounds like possibly July is when it looks like.
Oh, sure. And also an update on the road closure. Mr. DeMitt's looking to not close the road now. He's thinking that their contractor can flag during the day and then have it open during the night. So we will keep you updated on that as soon as we learn. And we'll also post it on Facebook, our website, and probably do a blast on people's emails and text messages so everyone's aware of when the road would be closed or wouldn't be closed.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Sure.
good to know. I know there were some residents in Brookfield specifically that were concerned that there might be some speeding traffic going down Brookfield Drive. So
Right.
It's good to hear that might not happen.
Sure.
And the modifications include, we anticipate sidewalks. Is that accurate?
Oh, yes, there will be sidewalks along lots 1 through 19 on the western side of the road.
Terrific. Okay, thank you, sir.
Sure.
All right. Mr. Davis, I'm assuming no questions, or is that a false assumption?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, so is there a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding and to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement on behalf of the town for consideration?
And I just want to clarify, if I may, Mr. President,
Yes.
the MOU includes a quit claim deed. That's Exhibit B. I just want to make that aware. That's the official document that hands over the road. So.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there a motion? Sorry.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the Irishtown Road Transfer Memorandum of Understanding with Frederick County and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement on behalf of the town.
Thank you, sir.
I'll second.
Thank you, sir. Motion's been made by Commissioner Burns, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion carries 4-0 with Mr. Sweeney absent. And we now turn to our next agenda item, number 3. Sorry, item number 4, approval of the Brookfield lots 1 through 19 Irishtown Road projects right-of-way, temporary grading easement, and public works agreements, and authorize the mayor to sign the agreements on behalf of the town for consideration.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Amy, please change the next slide. Thank you. So this, there's 4 different documents. Mr. President, I would ask that at the end of each document, we'll take questions, and then if we could take a vote on each specific document. So
Okay.
the first is a deed of easement with Megan E. Pertel in the town of Emmitsburg. In order for Richard DeMitt, the developer of Brookfield, to properly grade and improve Irishtown Road per town standards along lots 1 through 19, he needs access through Megan Pertel's property located at 17449 Irishtown Road. For whatever reason, the right-of-way easement was never dedicated to Frederick County along Pertel's property when Irishtown Road was built many years ago. A right-of-way was dedicated for all other properties along Irishtown Road. Mr. DeMitt and Ms. Pertel have reached an agreement where he will pay $10,000 for the required 25-foot right-of-way easement, and also a temporary revertible grading easement required to properly grade her driveway during construction. Both easements will be dedicated to the town. Next slide, please. Here is the proposed right-of-way easement, which will become permanent. The town will need this easement in order to conduct future road maintenance, drainage work, utility work, etc. We have right-of-ways along every other town-owned road. Next slide, please. Here is the proposed revertible grading easement, which is temporary. This particular easement dissolves once Mr. DeMitt completes the required road work. The town will not need access to this area for future road work. We are asking for approval of this document so Mr. DeMitt can move forward with the project. Are there any questions?
Do we have any questions for Mr. Golden at this point? If not, we'll move to vote on this document, or this part of the document. So, Mr. Golden, for the sake of clarity, you're seeking approval of the deed of easement
Correct. With
by Megan E. Pertel as grantor under the Board of Commissioners of the Town of Emmitsburg, a municipal corporation in the state of Maryland, as the grantee. Is that, I'm using the language at the near head of the document. I don't know if you can see the camera or not.
Yeah, that's correct, Mr. President. It's between the
Perfect.
town and Ms. Pertel.
Okay, so would someone like to make a motion based on using that language, please? And I got the language from the head where it says this deed of easement. I don't know if the camera catches that or not.
I will make a motion that we approve the deed of easement between Megan E. Pertel and the town of Emmitsburg.
Okay, will that satisfy?
On Irishtown Road.
That works for me. Is that good for you, Zach?
Perfect.
I could keep going. Okay, thanks.
No, very good. Okay, is there a second for Mr. Ritz's motion?
I'll second Mr. Rich's motion.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion related to this item? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sweeney absent. Okay, we now turn to our next document, Mr. Golden.
Thank you. Amy, please turn the slide. Okay, this is the deed of easement between RJD Development Corporation and the town of Emmitsburg. Next slide, please. So in order for the future developer of Emmett Ridge 2 to properly tie into their required road improvements into Brookfield's completed road, a temporary revertible grading easement is required along Brookfield lots 1 and 2, as you can see on the screen. This agreement provides the necessary grading easement to the town for $1. This particular easement dissolves once the Emmett Ridge 2 developer completes the required road work, and the town will not need access to this area for future road work. We are asking for approval of this document so the project can proceed. Are there any questions on the temporary revertible grading easement, deed of easement?
So I hear none from the board. So again, I'll turn to the language at the head of the page here under deed of easement. Is there a motion to accept this revertible grading deed of easement by RJD Development Corporation as grantor unto the Board of Commissioners of the Town of Emmitsburg, a municipal corporation of the state of Maryland, grantee?
I was going to make the motion. I have one question though.
Yes, sir.
So I frame this correctly. Mr. Golden, this is a temporary revertible grading easement, correct?
That's correct.
All right, then therefore I make a motion to accept the temporary revertible grading easement between RJ Development Corporation and the town of Emmitsburg on Irishtown Road.
You have a question?
Okay. Is there a second for Mr. Ritz's motion?
I'll second that.
Thank you. The motion's been made by Commissioner Ritz, seconded by Commissioner Burns. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sweeney absent.
Okay.
We now turn to Mr. Golden for our next item.
Okay, thank you. This is the deed of easement between RJD Development Corporation and the town of Emmitsburg. Our code requires new developments plant street trees along all new and improved roadways. This document provides the necessary landscape easement along Brookfield's lots 1 through 19. The developer will be required to plant the trees within the easement, and the new homeowners will be required to maintain the trees. Just a quick note on that, the developer is actually required to maintain the trees for 2 years, and then the homeowners will be responsible. This easement is necessary so homeowners do not place accessory structures or other shrubbery, trees in the landscape area. This agreement provides the permanent landscape easement to the town for $1. Amy, next slide, please. Here is the landscape easement along lots 1 through 19, shown in gray. Next slide, please. And here is the landscape easement along lots 10 through 19, also shown in gray. We are asking approval of this document so the project can proceed forward. Are there any questions?
Just one question for you, Mr. Golden.
Yes.
Was this something that was passed recently? I'm just curious, living in Southgate, we were built in 2006 through 2008, and there wasn't trees planted. I don't know if this is something separate that was passed afterwards or anything of that nature. I'm just curious as to when it was decided that the trees would have to be put in to prevent some of the buildings that residents could put in.
Oh, sure. Yeah, this was actually approved by the board in January of 2020 when we did the buffering ordinance.
Oh, so I voted on it. All right, cool.
Yep.
Mr. Golden,
Yes.
the lots 1 through 19, they face east, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, so basically that's the front yard then facing Irishtown Road.
That's correct.
So they wouldn't be able to put accessory structures in their front yard anyway, I believe, per the code, correct?
They could put fences.
Fences, okay, I see what, okay.
So this would, fences would not be allowed within this easement.
And the HOA is fairly restrictive about the style.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think there are any other fences and
There are in backyards, but I
In
don't know of any in
backyards.
front yards that I can think of. So,
Yeah, I'm not sure of the restrictions for Brookfield regarding fences. I know they have a certain style, but I'm not sure about location.
right.
okay.
Mr. Ritz, is it safe to jump in?
It's all yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Golden, I'm looking through the document quickly and I didn't look through this, rather, I didn't see it the first time. Is it stated in here, the 2-year obligation, that RJD has in this? Is it stated here or how do we bind them to that?
So
obligation?
actually, yeah, it's actually in the next document that we're going to review, the Public Works Agreement.
Okay,
And
terrific.
it's also set forth in the code, and also it's on their improvement plan.
Terrific. Okay, that's excellent. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, any other discussion items, Mr. Burns or Mr. Davis?
Yeah, just real quick, does it state what type of trees or how big the trees or what they're gonna be? The reason I ask is, as beautiful as Main Street is, it becomes a kind of a no passing zone on the sidewalks because of the trees. And even if you're walking with somebody, you kind of gotta either go behind or duck under the trees. And it's kind of, for being a sidewalk, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. And we've kind of eliminated that.
Sure. Yeah, our code does specify a size of tree and also types. For example, they can't put twigs in, little twigs, and call it that they met the code. The good thing about this and it's different between Main Street and North Seaton and South Seaton Avenue is this is a separate easement for the trees. So it's not going to be, in the sidewalk. Main Street, since it's so tight, the trees were required to be put in the sidewalk itself. So these will be a couple feet off the sidewalk. So there's not going to be that issue that you're referring to.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So, hearing no further discussion items, I believe. Okay, let's call to the vote. All in favor of the motion as presented, please say aye.
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 Aye. No one against? The motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sweeney absent. Thank you. Mr. Gold, let me turn again to you.
Okay, so we do not have a slideshow for this one. So this is the Public Works Agreement, Irishtown Road, Brookfield's Lot 1 through 19, between RJD Development Corporation and the town of Emmitsburg. The Public Works Agreement outlines the developer's obligations in order to develop lots 1 through 19. These requirements include widening Irishtown Road and install driveway aprons, install temporary asphalt curb, driveway apron and sidewalk on lots 1 through 19, concrete curbs, gutters, and sidewalks, street lights, connect Heatherwind Drive to Irishtown Road, finalize connection of Brookfield Drive to Irishtown Road, road striping and signage. They're going to extend the 8-inch sewer line, extend the 10-inch water line, and install a storm drain to connect to existing stormwater management pond. A warranty of 12 months shall be provided from the date of substantial completion, and all equipment and material warranties shall be assigned to the town. Street trees are warranted for a period of 24 months. All inspection fees and town fees shall be paid by the developer. They will have 2 bonds, which will be posted with the town. Exhibit A shows a bond of $815,584.89. And also Exhibit B, future sidewalk, curb, and gutter on lots 1 and 2. This is $12,406.25. The town shall take ownership of the streetlights, main, water, and sewer lines, curbs, gutters, storm drain, roadway, and signage after completion and acceptance by the town. All this work has been approved by the Planning Commission and also Frederick County. We are asking for approval of this document so the project can proceed. Are there any questions on this particular document?
I don't hear any questions at this time, so we'll move on. I'm looking to to frame the motion, and I want to make sure I'm on the correct document front. So page 50 of 64, is that the correct Public Works and Improvements Agreement that we're discussing?
Correct.
Good, okay. All right, yes, I'm a little rusty. I will be the first to share that. Okay, so with that in mind, we have a modestly complex set of terms here. Ms. Willetts, is there a means by which we can simplify this to accept the Public Works and Improvements Agreement? Is that too simple?
No, you could do accept the Public Works and Improvements Agreement between RJD Development Corporation and the town of Emmitsburg related to Irishtown Road and lots 1 through 19.
Okay.
Does that work for you, Zach?
Yep, you took the words out of my mouth.
All right, so I'll read it back to you as I understand it. Okay, so there would be a motion. This is the language I'm proposing based on staff's advice. There would be a motion to accept the Public Works and Improvement Agreement between RJD Corporation and the town of Emmitsburg related to lots 1 through 19 along Irishtown Road.
Perfect.
That satisfies it? Okay, very good.
If I say so moved, will that suffice?
I would accept that.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Is there a second for Mr. Ritz's motion?
I'll second Mr. Ritz's motion.
Thank you. Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Ritz. It's been seconded by Commissioner Burns. Is there any further discussion related to this item? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sweeney absent. Thank you. All right, Mr. Golden, we again turn to you, sir.
That's everything.
Oh, that's everything. Yes, it is. Okay, terrific.
I just want to thank Zach for all his hard work on this. This is a lot to get through, and he and the town attorney and the mayor and myself, but particularly Zach, has worked really hard on all these documents. So I appreciate all his hard work. It's taken a load off of anything that I needed to do. So thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
That's great. Okay, so now we turn to agenda item number 5, approval of bid to construct 2 small pavilions in Eugene Myers Community Park near the bandstand for consideration.
Okay.
Return to staff.
This May. So before I get started, it is going to actually be 1 pavilion. The 2 slabs that are there, the one closest to the bands, the one to the right of the bandstand is less than 4 feet from the bandstand. The electrical box now sticks out from the bandstand. And if you see on page 61 where the electrical conduit runs, that none of the contractors thought it was a good idea to construct a pavilion there. So we are going to only move forward with 1. The reason, so you'll see here the timeline for the bids and where they were advertised. The reason that we decided to pursue this is we were contacted by Program Open Space and were advised that we had approximately $17,626 in leftover POS monies from projects dating back several years. So if you break that down, the town could pursue a project up to $23,500. So we put the project out to bid, and you'll see in the chart there, going with 1 8x8 pavilion. They do not recommend a 10x10 because the footers would be outside of the concrete and it's going to look very awkward. So we're going to opt for an 8x8 pavilion with a 6-foot picnic table. So the town staff is recommending 1 pavilion, Green Sites LLC, in the amount of $12,750 with an additional $900. It just doesn't have to be approved. I'm just letting everybody know, $900 for a picnic table. Green Sites is the same company that did the 2 pavilions to the rear of the park.
Terrific. Okay, so is there a motion to approve the bid from Green Sites LLC in the amount of $12,750 with an additional 900 for a picnic table. Is that correct? Are they providing that or is that a separate?
No,
purchase?
that's a
Sorry.
separate purchase. It
Okay,
does
all right.
not need to be included in the
Okay.
motion.
So exclude that. So looking for that motion.
I'll make a motion for the approval of Green Sites LLC for the 8x8 pavilion in the amount of $12,750.
Terrific. Thank you. Is there a second for Mr. Burns's motion?
I'll second.
Thank you, sir. Motion's been made by Commissioner Burns, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, I have a
Just-
question.
Okay, we'll go with Mr. Ritz and then Mr. Burns, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ritz, Mr. Ritz, go ahead.
So that the project then will be approximately 13,650.
Mhm.
And the grant is up to what dollar amount?
So the grant's up to 23,500. We were proposing to finish some excavating and drainage work at the rear of Community Park at the disc golf course.
Mm.
And then the remaining excess for the baseball dugout repairs that have been requested. We don't have an exact price on those yet. And
Okay,
that will use up the monies for the grant.
good. So
I want to use it all.
it's one, yes, and
Yes.
it's one set amount, but we don't have to, it could be on multiple projects, however. we
Correct.
See fit. Okay, that's good to hear. Thank you.
Great. Mr. Burns, we turn to you, sir.
Will we be using that grant money for the picnic table for that pavilion? And are we going to add picnic tables to the other two pavilions as well?
Yeah, the other two have already been ordered. They're not been ordered. They're going to be ordered. They're going to be ordered. Unfortunately, we're finding with COVID, everything is back ordered and taking a long period of time. So we'll order 3 picnic tables at the same time for all 3 pavilions.
And
Is
I'm,
it
I'm sure there's an excess in price given the fact that wood prices are extremely high right now.
Right.
Is it possible to order a 4th to replace one of 2 by Rainbow Lake, one of 2 picnic tables by Rainbow Lake?
I'm sure we can.
Okay,
I just,
tables.
I had a
tables.
brain.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Okay, so.
Can I,
Yes.
one follow-up question with the picnic tables? Are we going to tie those picnic tables down or in any way, shape or form? Are they going to be cemented in? Or are they going to be attached with a lock or anything? Or are they just going to be freestanding?
I'll have to talk to Jimmy to see what his recommendations are so that we don't, whatever we do, we want to make sure we don't damage the integrity of the concrete. So I'll talk to him and see what his recommendation is for securing them.
And not that I expect them to walk away, but I just, there's always the worry that a picnic table of a nice build might walk away at some point in time.
Right.
With those lead tables, make it hard.
Mhm.
Okay, so call to vote, all in favor of the green sites
Aye.
bid? Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, very good. The motion carries 4-0, Mr. Sweeney being absent. Thank you. Okay, we now turn to our next agenda item, item number 6. Thank you, Mr. Burns. Approval of resolution 2021-03R authorizing Mayor Briggs and the town manager to file an application for federal assistance with the USDA Rural Development for consideration. And at this time, we wonder if there's any public comment related to this item. Is that correct, Ms. Willetts? That's what you're looking for?
Correct. Looking for any input from the public related to this project, and if there's any comment related to economic, environmental impacts, the service area, alternatives to the project, or any other issues identified.
Okay, we don't have anybody standing by for this item. No, we do not. Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, so I'll turn it over to you, Ms. Willetts.
Okay, so Ms. Shaw was contacted by our representative at USDA that we have been working with on grant funding and the loan for the Creamery pump station. She was advised by the representative that she had additional monies that could be given to the town in grant form. If we could submit a grant no later than June 15th. And is that correct, Maddie? June 15th? Yes. So they could be, the items that they're looking for was anything public works related, water and sewer related, such as vehicles and equipment. So as we talked about in our budget, we were looking for a new Kubota multi-use tractor with a cab, backhoe, and front loader bucket, which we had added to the capital improvement plan for sewer in the amount of $46,405. Budgeted for next year or the following year would be the super end loader backhoe in the amount of $116,400. That backhoe is extremely old and we keep pushing it out. It needs to be replaced. And on the schedule to replace one of the public works trucks, I believe was budgeted for was on the schedule for next year's replacement. So fiscal year 23 in the amount of $41,543. Also on the capital improvements plan for sewer was the SCADA system computer updates for the wastewater treatment plant. It includes 2 new desktop computers, 1 new PowerEdge server, and 2 new industrial PCs and software in the amount of $80,800. And we had added that, like I mentioned, for the budget for FY22. The total amount is $285,500 the town will be requesting. USDA will contribute $157,000 towards the purchase of these 4 items. The town's match would be $128,500, which we actually had already budgeted for in our capital improvement plan for sewer. This was an opportunity I don't think the town could pass up. So we quickly pulled all our information together to submit this application. But one of the things that's required is a resolution stating to file the application for federal financial assistance with USDA to purchase new public equipment. And it's already been advertised in the paper, correct, Maddie? Yeah, it's already been advertised, the required time period that USDA requires.
Okay, any questions for staff related to the presentation for this item?
No.
So just real quick, the one thing I didn't mention, that the project schedule is everything needs to be purchased and installed no later than June 1st of 2022. We'll advertise for bids. Once we get the funding from USDA, we'll advertise for the bids in September of this year and hope to have everything purchased with the board's approval at the September meeting, and then turn around and purchase no later than May of 2022.
So the only comment I would have is in making the purchase of the hardware and software for, it's the water treatment plant that would get this, or wastewater treatment?
It's the wastewater treatment
Wastewater
plant.
treatment plant, that the software would have appropriate firewalls as we see all this hacking going on. If that's, I don't know if that's.
Well, this is, yes, you're correct. This software recommendation came from our engineer
Okay.
that designed the wastewater treatment plant.
And I don't know if we're funding the right end of the process, in that if the software is managing the work that's done there, is there perhaps an internet entity we subscribe to give us that protection, so we have the most current protection? Do you follow what I mean? Like,
This will bring us up to date with all the protections that we need at the wastewater treatment
okay,
plant.
terrific.
Yes.
All right. One doesn't want one pushing buttons from the wrong, from the wrong hand, as it were. Okay, or one doesn't want the wrong hand pushing buttons. I'll say it that way. Okay. With that in mind, it's been a backwards night.
I was just thinking about
It's
pushing
been a backwards
pushing
night,
people's buttons.
I don't want people messing with our
Unfortunately, I
water.
think, as we've seen with the pipeline, it can be done. If it can
Yeah.
be done there, it can be done anywhere,
Correct.
fortunately, but we can do our best, and that's what this is for.
Right, that's,
Mhm.
some means of protection. Okay, with that in mind, is there a motion to accept the approval of resolution 2021-03R authorizing Mayor Briggs and the town manager to file an application for federal assistance with the USDA Rural Development for consideration? With the USDA Rural Development.
I'll make that a motion.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second for Commissioner Davis's motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ritz. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sweeney absent. Thank you. We now turn to item M, setting agenda for the next virtual meeting, June 21st, 2021 at 7:30 PM. And we have listed here the impact fee and park and rec fee in lieu study presentation, public hearing and approval of ordinance 21-05 for consideration. Wait a minute, Ms. Willetts, I'm sorry. I'm stealing your thunder here.
No, go ahead.
All right, okay, great. Sorry. 3, public hearing and approval of ordinance 21-06 for consideration, following 21-05 for consideration. Approval of policy 21-02 park recreation and open space fee in lieu for consideration. Item 6, approval of resolution 21-02R, community legacy facade improvement grant submittal authorization for consideration. And then for administrative business, approval of the fiscal year 2022 Frederick County Sheriff's Office contract for consideration. And item B, discussion of the status of the Northgate Park. Are there any other items to
And then
add
you
at this
would-
time?
I think you wanted to add under admin business discussion related to opening the town office for town meetings for consideration.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
And then if it's okay, I'd like to set the agenda for July 12th.
Sure, we can start. Sure, absolutely.
Okay. I have, let me see. We have number 1 would be approval of ordinance 21-11, purchases, contracts, and bid procedures for consideration. Number 2 would be award the ADA sidewalk curb ramp project contract for consideration. Number 3, approval of Rutter's easement agreement and authorize the mayor to sign on behalf of the town for consideration. Award forestry stand 10 logging bid for consideration. Hold public hearing and approval of resolution 2021-01R, amendment to chapter 3 of the 2015 comprehensive plan for consideration. Next would be a zoning text amendment application, proposed ordinance 2021-12, which would amend town code section 17.08.190. The board will have 2 options there: to deny the application or forward the planning commission for recommendation and set public hearing for August 2nd, 2021. I have 2 items that are tentative. We do not know if they will make it on the July 12th agenda. I'm going to go ahead and announce them now. And if they need to be removed, we'll give proper notice. Approval of an access easement on the wastewater treatment property for the Frederick County Creek Relief Program, and authorize mayor to sign on behalf of the town for consideration. And finally, approval of ordinance 21-08, update to chapter 3.08, impact fees for consideration.
Okay, backing up to the amendment to the comp plan mentioned in the July 12th, number 5 item, the 5th item.
Mhm.
What is the amendment that we're contemplating?
Zach?
The chapter 3, it's for the municipal growth area chapter. So the growth boundary.
So are we contemplating modifying our growth boundary?
That's correct.
And that would be expanding it or diminishing it?
Extending.
Okay. Interesting.
It's expanding for potential annexation in the future, correct?
That's correct.
I believe what, yeah.
Yeah.
that's- I wouldn't see it for, other than a buffer, but I think it would have to be that.
Yeah,
So,
It was, I think I listed them. It was in that one meeting with a lot of
okay.
continuation of Northgate, et cetera, et cetera.
All right. And for administrative business for the July 12th meeting, is there anything at this time?
I don't have anything.
Okay. I'll bring forward an item for administrative business. The Monocacy Composite Mountain Biking Group that used our trails in October will be asking or has asked if they can return in July at the end of the month. And I'll bring that information forward. And basically the same proposal would be to use the grassy area behind the earthen dam as a parking area. And basically that we'd have a youth activity up there, which would be pretty neat, I think, again. Last time we had, I believe, like 60 kids out there and double that parents almost. And the deputies were awesome.
Okay.
So I would ask the deputies also at that time. Other than that, we turn to.
So
Sorry.
I need, can you give me an actual
Sure.
agenda title or admin title
Okay.
that
Yes.
we need to post?
Youth group use of the Emmitsburg trails. Did I wander? I bet, yeah, I did.
That was easy.
Okay. Okay, so we turn to the board now to accept the agenda for the June 22nd meeting. Is there a motion to accept that agenda?
Make a motion to accept the agenda for the June 22nd meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Excuse me.
21st.
June 21st meeting, I'm sorry. Is there a
June
second? for-
21st.
Yeah, is there a second for that motion?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sweeney absent. Okay, we now turn to, do we need administrative business separately for that meeting? Okay, very good. So we now turn to setting the agenda at this time for the July 12th, 2021 meeting. Is there a motion to accept the July 12th, 2021 agenda as proposed?
I'll make a motion to accept the July 12th, 2021 agenda as proposed.
Thank you. Is there a second for the motion?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Motion's been made by Commissioner Burns, seconded by Commissioner Ritz. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, we're moving this to July 12th due to the July 4th holiday. Do we foresee any other meetings in July?
No.
I don't, yeah, with the budget set, I think we're.
Okay,
with
so I guess my next question is, then do we tentatively, do you think that we might be seeing in August a revisit to the fee in lieu of Emmett Ridge 2?
As of right now, we have not heard anything from Emmett Ridge 2 since our last conference call. So it's the kind of the ball's in their court. We're
Okay.
waiting to hear from them. I know they'd had a lot of things to look at. So hopefully by our July 12th meeting, we will know
Good, yeah,
we need to add them.
I understand there's a lot going on there. I think when we last left it back in April, we were looking at a July or August timeframe. So that's why I was just keeping up with that. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. That is.
That's all I have.
Okay, so any other discussion items related to the July 12th meeting proposal? All right, therefore, all in favor of that July 12th, 2021 meeting agenda, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sweeney absent. Okay, and at this time, is there a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make a motion to close the June 7th, 2021 meeting at 9:11.
Thank you. Is there a second for that motion?
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Burns, seconded by Commissioner Ritz. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Good night. Thank you. Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sweeney absent. The meeting concludes at 9:11. Good night. Sure. Thank you very much, staff.
Great job, staff. Hey, I need you